Hi, Akshay. Thank you so much for taking out time for being on my channel.
And thank you so much, Sukat, for inviting me. Right, it's an honor to be here and talking to you. Right, I
Yeah,
think there's a lot more to learn from you, and let's see what where we go.
there are a lot of things to learn from you. Like, you're the front-end person for the whole internet for now. Anyone who wants to learn front-end, it's definitely will go to your channel or get in touch with you. You have been doing amazing work. So I've seen your videos also, and the good thing about your videos is what I found it that they are not boring. Like most of the times, when even I try to make some educational videos, they tend to become boring. But your videos are like, I don't know, you make them interactive in some way with your expressions, hand movements, and all.
Yes, yes. So yeah, you are right. Right. I mean, basically, right. This is the first thing which differentiates my channel. I feel so,
Mhm.
right, and I consciously did it, right,
Mhm.
because right, we have been so basically there was an era where there were very few tutorials on the internet, right,
Mhm.
and then came a wave when there are like thousands of videos put every day for the
Right.
same topic.
Mm.
So I felt what is missing on those videos, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people, what they do is they go to YouTube to study now, right?
Mhm.
Instead of going to college lectures or studying from blogs or books, everybody
Mhm.
has left reading books these days. Like if you know the stats for the
Mhm.
younger kids in college these days, so
Mhm.
everybody have stopped reading books. They have stopped reading blogs.
Mhm.
They generally search on YouTube for everything they want to study. The problem is I used to make videos which were like kind of a little boring, right, earlier. But what I saw that there is a what you'll say there is a drop in retention, right? The retention rates were less. Then I started improving on my what you'll say production skills, right? How to make it engaging, how to craft the script of the video, right? Basically I make tutorial video, but I still do a thing which a normal what you'll say kind of like a entertainment video would need, right? Basically I prepare a proper script, I plan the sections of my video, I try to make it not boring, I re-record sections of the video, I edit it very well. So takes a lot of effort, but yes,
Right.
that's what student needs these days, I guess, right?
Yeah. It shows also like that you're putting a lot of effort in like in speech
Yes, yes.
itself and all the script writing,
Mhm.
and yeah, that takes a lot of time. So I think everyone who's learning from you or your channel or through Namaste Dev would want to know your front end journey, how it started. So I think let's just start with that. How you started front
Oh
end
yeah.
development and
Uh-huh.
what was the first
Yeah.
thing you learned?
So that's an interesting story. Actually, I haven't shared it ever, right, on
Okay.
the internet though, right? But let me tell you. So basically, I was kind of like a what you'll say accidental front end engineer, right? I never wanted to be one, right? But
Mm.
I landed up there. So it started. So basically, see, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to build businesses. I wanted to build tech companies. Right, that's what I wanted. Right, since day one. Right, even when I was in college, I started my own company. Right there, from the hostels itself. It didn't do well. Right, so basically, I had to leave it. Came to Bangalore again. Again, started a startup with a couple of my friends. So basically that's how my journey began. And right, if you work in a startup, there's nothing like front end or back end. You are everything, right?
Yeah.
You are a everything engineer, right? Nothing like a front end or back end there, right? So I remember I started with that time when I started, it was 2016 or no 15, sorry, 2015. And that time front end was not that mature, right? Basically I remember that we used in our first project that we built, we were using Java in the backend, Java Spring Hibernate, right?
Mm.
Spring Boot Hibernate. That is what we were using along with MySQL. So that was it that we were using, and I used to be like handling everything, right from databases, backend, front end, and there was never a concept of microservices, right? Everything was there in the single project, right? You were writing cron jobs in the same project, marketing SMS were sent from the same project, and startups work like that only, right? I mean, they don't distribute these services very early in their right, they don't make different projects for all of these, right?
Hmm.
At early stages we were just testing out our product. So what I did was, that time in front end we used to write JSP pages, right? I mean, there was a
Right.
concept of Java servlet pages, and you used to write along with Java code. So right, so it was very random, right? So I was not a front end engineer from the starting, but then that's how we grow, right? Then I switched jobs, and right, and there was a point in my career where, my manager was my manager actually asked me, right? It was in lending cart, right? I went to lending cart after that company. So my manager asked me, Akshay, like, you should focus, right? Basically I was becoming a senior engineer now, right?
Hmm.
So I have to focus on one thing, right? So my
Hmm.
manager said, you focus on either backend databases and all, or you focus on this front end and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
So that time I wasn't that mature, but what I knew was I wanted to be involved with business a little more. I used to like the job of product managers, right? I mean, I used to feel that, okay, product managers are the people who are driving the company, right?
Right.
Tech comes at the back, right? Basically, that was my perception
Hmm.
since day one, right?
Hmm.
Basically, business comes first, then comes the product, then comes the tech. Tech is the last thing
Right.
people are concerned about. If you can't build a good product, if you build a good tech but the product is not good, right? Product means, right, something which you are offering to the customers. So there's nothing gonna work, right? Make whatever tech you want to, but actually it should bring up business. So
Right.
I wanted to stay close to business, I wanted to stay close to product managers. And I used to, and in lending cart I was in customer experience team. So basically, I was like the front face of the what will say, the app, right? As soon as the user lands onto the app, they used to hit my project. So I was very curious about that, right? So basically that's how, and small changes on the front end used to create a lot of impact, right?
Hmm.
So working there for 1 year, I kind of started liking that team, that product, and started getting more involved into it. And then slowly, it kind of, it was just accidental, and people started assuming me as a front end developer. I
Okay.
used to write a lot of Angular code and very less Java, right?
Hmm.
Uh, basically I used to work on both front and back end, but I used to write a lot of basically I was owning front end microservices, and less of APIs and all, right? So basically,
Got it.
so people started assuming me like front end developers.
Hmm.
uh, then I basically switched to Paytm.
Hmm.
Then again I had an option to go on either ways. uh, that point of time, I wanted to, I made a big mistake in lending card, that I chose Angular 1, right?
Hmm.
That got scrapped off later on.
Hmm.
So, and I was very curious to learn React. So I went to Paytm. They gave me an opportunity to work in React. So I took that and I started working on React. I started working on how it works behind the scenes, why React was built. I started to dive deep in JavaScript even more. Uh, so so that's how I got interested into front end JavaScript and this whole ecosystem, and then it just continued, right?
Got it.
That's how it was. Yep. And very less people know that even when I was in Uber, right, I used to work on both front end and back end. But because I started making more videos on YouTube on what you'll say, front end, so kind of like now people feel that I am a only a front end and a JavaScript kind of guy. But I have written like almost everything. In college, I have built
Hmm.
projects on Ruby on Rails, Java. So basically, when you are a startup founder, right, you kind of explore everything, right,
Right.
whatever
Right.
comes to your way.
Hmm.
So I was building these tech products, and I have coded in like Ruby on Rails, right? That time Ruby on Rails was cool, right? Now
Right.
nobody uses it, right?
Right.
But uh, that's how it was, right? And then I kind of, now people assume that, and now when I have built a market, I'm building products around it. So I keep myself to JavaScript and React only for
Okay.
public. Right? but
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's good.
From your LinkedIn profile, I also thought that you are doing both the things, because at Uber you must have had to do both back end and front end, or you were just doing
Yeah.
front end.
Mhm, mhm. So basically, Uber was so Uber used Go heavily, right?
Hmm.
Go, Kafka. Go was new to me, right? It's a different style of writing code and everything, right? And when I joined Uber, so most of the almost all of the backend of our teams were written in Go, and we were using Kafka heavily. We were using this microservice architecture, event driven, right? Everything is
Hmm.
event driven over there. We heavily used event driven architecture, and even the databases are different in Uber, right? They
Hmm.
don't use the basic versions of it. They have a wrapper around a lot of things. So that is what we were using. I used to write both, but more inclined towards front end. So
Content.
basically, front end stack, right? The front end and the middle part of it, right? So
Got it.
yep, that's it. Mhm.
So, what were the major issues like when you were learning these? What you faced? What resources did you follow? And what was the like
Okay.
major challenging part while learning any of these front end technologies?
Mhm. So see, basically, see, I feel that JavaScript is the most easiest language to start with,
Okay.
but it is very hard to master, or basically very hard to understand, right? How it works behind the scenes. And that's what I've learned like over years, right? JavaScript was always my side language, right? I mean, I used to work in Java, then I used to, so basically there was a Java was the major part of my career, and then JavaScript was on the side, right? I used to just write front end over there. I have worked with jQuery and then Angular, then React. So I used to just write code, right? So see, front end is the thing which you can start very easily, right? The
Hmm.
tags are easy. You just know that H1 is heading, and you put it up, you play with it, and you see the output, and it's easy get going.
Right.
But I got interested into this front end when I started working on Angular and React, right?
Hmm.
Because I have seen a lot of pain while writing plain JavaScript and jQuery.
Hmm.
Then when I went to Angular and React, I was like, oh my god, right? Just two three lines of code and it does a lot of things, right? And earlier we used to write a lot of code to build the same thing.
Hmm.
So that's how my journey started, and then I got curious, and then I started exploring things. Majorly I used to learn by doing itself, right? Basically
Got it.
uh, you just go to document. My learning was blunt, right? So
Hmm.
basically, see,
Hands on.
when you're building a product, hands on, and when you're building a product, you don't have time to read or learn or something, right? No,
Hmm.
it's like create a form in JavaScript, right? Or create a form in React. So you get to something, some
Hmm.
some answer, you copy paste, and then it does not work, and then you figure out how it works. And it was random. It was not a proper learning process for me. And
Right.
over the period of time, what I realized is every time I get into issues, I have to go back and read the documentation. I have to go back to reading documentation. I was very well versed with the React documentation that time.
Hmm.
So that's how it was. I have never learned these any of these frameworks or libraries properly, right? By
Right.
going line by line or something. Now I
Right.
try to do that and find it really boring. But like I try I'm put keeping my hands on the Next.js right now, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm finding it very boring. But
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
there are like new frameworks coming up every time. Like
Mhm.
Angular, first Angular was there, then React came, then Next.js came, and
Uh-huh.
even the new versions of the old frameworks are also coming up. So,
Exactly.
like, what should
Mhm.
one do with the?
Learn the latest, right? I mean, the first thing is learn the latest, because React, what I used to write 5 years back, I think it's been 7 years, 8 years I have been coding in React. The code that you used to write like 3 years back is now obsolete, outdated, right? The new version of React 18, is very different than the older version of React. Now you write less code, you get more output, different
Hmm.
style of writing code, different style of managing folders, like folder structure. Everything has changed, right? See different projects. So what I would suggest is, see, frameworks will come and go.
Hmm.
Today we are working on React 18 majorly. So tomorrow React 19, 20 will come up, and everything will change drastically, right? So what I would suggest is, in front end, everything changes very fast.
Hmm.
That is the reason, when I started and today, there is a lot of improvement in the developer experience, right? So uh, things change in other languages too, but it's not as
Not
fast
as
as
fast,
it
right?
is happening in front end and React and this ecosystem, right? And a lot of credit has to be given to browsers also, right? Browsers have become very amazing these days, right? I mean,
Right.
uh, kudos job to these browser companies, right? They
Hmm.
have put in a lot of effort. Browsers are super efficient, super fast. You can so To be very honest, I generally just use browser, VS Code, and Zoom. Nothing else.
Right.
No other app in generally I use, right? These are the I spend 99.99% of the time in these three apps on my laptop, right? So what
Right.
I'm trying to say, and Zoom is even available on web, not that
Mm,
great. I use the native one.
mm.
But what I'm trying to say is that browsers are very much capable these days. Front end has drastically changed, and if you want to learn a framework, learn the latest of it, whatever you pick up, right? And try to keep updating yourself. If you stop learning, then you're gone, you're out of the market. You'll have to like put a lot of efforts to come back again. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
while designing any front end websites or pages, what are
Uh-huh.
the major considerations that come into your mind? So, like, you have to think about the efficiency also, like how much
Yes.
time it will take to load, and
Mhm.
you have to think about how it looks, how each button
Mhm.
interacts with each other. So, what was the part which you liked the most?
So basically, see, there are a lot of parts of the front end, right? What
Hmm.
I basically like is the fundamentals of it. The major mistake and the efficiency lies in fundamentals. If people don't understand, and the major problem today is people start working on these frameworks, but they don't know how it works behind the scenes, right? That
Hmm.
is the problem. Once you know what you are writing, how it works behind the scenes, then your job is done, right? Then you will understand that if I will write this will happen, and it will cause extra re-rendering, or it's not a good code. Like, you will understand that why a framework is built in such a way, right? You should know those things. The sad part is nobody does that, right? Nobody. So basically, people come up, and they just, I don't know how they learn, right? People, today they want to learn. What I have seen, what I have observed in students is that students want to take shortcuts while learning, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so people who come into front end and learn these frameworks, they don't understand how it works behind the scenes. They just know if you write this will happen. This will happen on the web page, but they don't know how it works behind the scenes. That's why they face challenges in optimization and other stuff, right? The best part I like about React, or see, every framework has their own pros and cons. What I like about React is how it works behind the scenes, their
Hmm.
reconciliation, their so there's something known as React Fiber. I'm not sure how much you are into front end, but
Okay.
right, there's something known as React Fiber. That's the core React algorithm.
Hmm.
That's super amazing if you know how it works behind the scenes, right? The
God.
whole React team is working on improving it every day, right?
Hmm.
So that's something really excites me, and and I am just curious about what they're coming up with next, right? Yep.
Right. So,
So
one
uh,
should learn these basic behind the scenes things also to actually know.
exactly, see, what else say is, right, the optimization and everything lies on very small things, right, and very
Right.
basics of things, right?
Hmm.
There's nothing new that can come up, right? Because browsers are same, DOM is same, your website, how it paints is same, right? The major optimization lies in how you write code and how your code, see, now what we have done is we write very high level of code, right? And those codes are compiled into low level, then that low level code is compiled into again low level, then low level, again low level, and then it works in JavaScript engine, right? Those
Right.
engines might be written in C++ and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
So basically we have abstracted a lot, right? The one line that I write compiles down to what else, right? I mean, it expands down to a lot of low level code, and people don't actually know that one line can create a lot of issues, right? so
Right.
so basically when you know, the deeper you go, the better you will be, the better your JavaScript is, the better how web works is. So
Hmm.
basically I categorize it like, see, you should know web fundamentals, right? Web
Right.
fundamentals is like how browsers work, how browsers work, how JavaScript engine works inside browser, and how JavaScript code is executed. These things if you understand, so that understanding is good. Then learn how JavaScript works, then learn how these frameworks work, right? So
Hmm.
knowledge of frameworks contribute a very less to optimization and all. The deeper you go, the better developer or a senior engineer you will be. That's why it
Got it.
is very tough for these big companies to hire senior front end developers, because very less people know all this, right?
Right.
There are no curated resources and all. It's very tough to
Hmm.
get good senior front end engineers these days. Yep.
And how can one learn all these things? Like through the
So
documentation or
to be to be very honest, right, uh, right, it's not much appreciated, right?
Hmm.
Nobody, see, everybody wants to learn fancy stuff, React,
Right.
Angular. They don't want to learn how, because the major problem is today everybody wants to crack interviews, right? That's how our mentality works, that I want to crack interview, and this company is working on React, and the interview will be in React, so they learn React and that's all. And once they go in the company, they go into comfort zone, they don't learn,
Right.
uh, they just do enough that they just keep working, right? That's
Hmm.
all. So that's not the case, right? If you want to learn, if somebody is curious, then just Google search, right? Be curious about things. I just say that today is the era where it's information overload. There is no less information today. Just do
Right.
a Google search, thousands of resources, learn from various resources. That's how I do till today. There's
Hmm.
so many things that I still don't know, right? There is so many things which I every day get curious about in the web, in the JavaScript. So just a Google search away, there are blogs. Yes, and you will have to make a habit of reading, right?
Right.
Reading, because you won't get very good YouTube videos on these core topics. And
Hmm.
I think it's the same for backend and everywhere, right?
Right.
It's all across, right? All the tutorials mostly I see on YouTube are very superficial, or
Right.
uh, not that content heavy,
Not in depth.
right?
Yeah.
It's not that content heavy. Very less people are doing that, and those people are very underrated. Some
Right.
like you, your channel has some very amazing videos which will have very less views, and
Right.
random videos will have so much
Yeah.
views. So it's like people don't appreciate those efforts, and people are lazy. They don't
Hmm.
want to learn. They
Right.
want to learn only so that they are okay with doing their job. They don't want to be excellent, right?
Right.
It's the truth. So that's how it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
But
sad,
as
but that's how
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. As time goes, but I think everyone will have to stumble upon that time to actually learn in depth
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The problem now, things are that people are raising the bar, right? Now
Hmm.
now you have to learn a lot to compete with other folks, right? So
Right.
I feel that's how people are raising their bar, but nobody is that curious. But
Yeah.
once you are curious, everything is on the internet. Just learn whatever new keyword you find. Just learn. Go through it, right?
Yeah. Now you have AI tools also. Chat GPT bar. Just ask questions.
Huh, huh, huh. The problem with ChatGPT and Bard with front end is that when you'll ask them questions or ask them to produce code, they will produce code of random. See, you will write produce a React code for this, right?
Hmm.
So they will give you obsolete code, React 15
Right.
code,
Okay.
16 code, right? They're not very up to date with the latest
Hmm.
React, and not trustworthy. But yes, right, I mean, it will just gonna improve, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
will just going to
Definitely.
be improved, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
So now coming to Namaste Dev, like how it started,
Uh-huh.
what you wanted to, what was your major goal with it, and like I think you left your job also for it. So
Yes,
how
yes,
it all
yes.
started,
Uh-huh.
and did you see it going this way from the start?
No, no, it's definitely a very enriching journey. So much I have learned so far. And if you'll ask me in my career, I am the happiest right now, right? How I could have been, right? So so basically, see, I it why I left the job, it has to do a lot with a lot of, like, it's not just one reason or something, right? It so many reasons collectively made me take that decision. uh, I came back home, right, from Uber in COVID, right? And
Hmm.
COVID started, everybody was doing work from home, and for 1.5 years or so I did my work from home from here, and I started liking working from home only, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
started liking working from here. I've made up my own setup, own studio,
Hmm.
and in COVID only, I got a lot of extra time that uh, that helped me start Namaste React, right?
Okay.
Namaste React was built inside COVID, right?
Hmm.
And it gave me a lot of bump. I started seeing people liking it a lot, and I wanted to do it a lot more, right? Basically, so so that's why I thought that, okay, let me stay in Dehradun. I actually wanted to stay in Dehradun, right, since a long time,
Hmm.
uh, and wanted to be with my family. I don't like metro cities, to be very honest, right? I don't enjoy it, right? Living in flats and all that, right?
Yeah.
I enjoy living with my family at Dehradun, right? I'm kind of a very introvert type of person. I don't like to go out and party and all that stuff. I'm not like
Okay.
that. So basically, I enjoy living over here. So that was one main reason that uh, can I just spend my life over here, or can I just be at here, right? I mean,
Mm.
so one reason for that. The other reason was that I started seeing a lot of traction on YouTube, right?
Mm.
So this was a very secondary reason, right? I
Right.
don't want to compromise my career by just staying in Dehradun, right?
Right.
Career was the top priority, and then it would have been the best if I get to stay over here and still do whatever I want to, right?
Right.
So today you ask me, I do whatever I want to. There's no job role for me, and that's how I think entrepreneurs are, right? I mean, I'm just involved into random stuff right now. But yeah, how it started was I started gaining traction on YouTube. I and the question that time I asked to myself is, teaching was kind of like my hobby, right? I was just doing on side. I used to do whenever I feel like. It was not a core thing for me.
Mm.
I The problem was that uh, I had to take a major decision. Should I should I basically make this hobby as a career? It's a very important step, right? It's a
Mm.
very tough decision, and
Right.
it took me like I think 6 7 months to just uh, decide
Right. Mm.
and think again and again, right? 6 7 months I was just every day it used to run in my head, should I or should I not, should I not? Because to be very honest, right, Uber was paying me very good, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Definitely.
Uber pays a lot, right?
Mm.
They were spoiling spoiling us. So so basically what happened was, the only question was, can I like uh, can I sustain and can I make enough money outside of Uber,
Mm.
right? Because I don't want to work on half the salary, right, or
Mm.
something, because it won't be, for a year or so I would be okay, right? My
Right.
salary is less, I am happy, but it's not worthy in long run, right?
Long run. Yeah.
I would be in guilt, right? I would be
Mm.
in guilt, why did I leave my job, it was easy and all that stuff, right? So but then I thought, I gave a decision, I took a bold step, I said, okay, I'll give myself 1 year 2 year, right?
Mm.
And then if things don't work out, then I will go back to my job, right? I mean,
Right.
uh, it was easy, right?
Mm.
I was never underconfident about whether I will get a job or not, right? I mean, I don't know, I just
Yeah. When
got
you're
that
learning stuff,
confidence.
you're already
Yeah,
learning. If
I
you're
kind of
teaching, you're learning
yes.
stuff also, and so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was learning, but it was never there since the beginning. Also, right?
Okay.
I never cared about because I have seen because I never wanted a job. It's like I just have to do a job because I have to, right? But
Mm.
otherwise, always wanted to build businesses, make business, and run something. I like a lot marketing, product. These things I enjoy doing, right?
Right.
Basically, uh, so basically I wanted to do that. So I never cared about job. I was like, whatever you give me I'll do, kind of stuff, right? I mean, I'll
Okay.
figure out. If
Mm.
I don't know, I'll figure out. That's how
Mm.
I was, and I had the same mentality throughout my career.
Mm.
So job was not a problem. uh, I just was afraid about whether I will get a job of the same package or not, right?
Right.
That was the only, because once you once you go at Uber's package, I think there are very less companies that
Right.
offers it again,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that was the only thing, but I was not afraid about that also. And then I took a bold step. I said, okay, let me just go in and
Mm.
then give my full on. And to be very honest, uh, it's just 1.5 years and best decision of my life, right? I mean, I
Okay.
feel that, okay, you should take those bold steps, trust your instincts.
Mm.
And to be very honest, I knew nothing about what I'm going to do when I left my job, right?
Mm.
I was like, I just wanted to continue with YouTube, and I'll figure out, right? Kind of, that was my motive. I thought that I will do more of YouTube,
Mm.
right? I will make a lot of videos, I will try to reach a lot more audience, I will
Mm.
build more of Namaste, Angular and all whatnot, right?
Right.
But then when I started going on, I went to edtech. Now I
Mm.
have to think like an entrepreneur. How will I make money? How will I do brand deals? How will I do what? And then I kind of figured out that this is the right way, or I don't know, right or wrong, but
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing right now and I'm happy with it, right? So
Right.
basically I've started building basically paid courses,
Hmm.
uh, and then now I'll continue to do that, right?
Right.
And along with YouTube, yes,
Right.
that is what the plan is, and hopefully that is working good for me.
Hmm.
And the major thing is, see, I see that there is so much that I can give to the community, right? There is so much knowledge which is still not there,
Hmm.
uh, and I am just running out of time. Right?
Yeah.
So much to do. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you are the best guy for front end. You have been doing it for a lot of time, and the way you present it, that is also very unique as compared to other people. So I think, yeah, people can gain a lot of knowledge from your courses, or
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So I try to make it engaging, right?
Right.
There's no, see basically what everybody knows is that attention spans are going low, right?
Right.
People today are people today try are wanting to learn from reels, right?
Hmm.
And they don't want to watch longer tutorials. But what I have seen is, see, so basically then I had a question that should I make shorter videos? Should
Hmm.
I make uh, so I so I don't want to compromise on the content quality also,
Right.
right? If you want to deliver heavy content, then you have to make your videos long,
Right.
right? I don't want to compromise and make my video short. That
True.
is for sure. That is what I have taught myself. I will not make a video short just because it is not getting much reach or it's not good for YouTube algorithm or not.
Hmm.
No, I have stopped thinking like that. How I think as a YouTuber is, I will make content best, right? Video length is not my parameter, right? I
Hmm.
never judge a video with a video length. My videos are, some videos are 1 hour 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and some videos are like 15-20 minutes. I focus mainly on uh, the best content.
Hmm.
Now, what I can optimize on is how you deliver it. So I
Right.
put a lot of time in how you deliver it, how you shoot it, how you edit it, how you can make it more engaging. This is what I do, right? And
Right.
I tried out, I did experiments, and then it's kind of working, right? People are
Right.
enjoying it. They are getting some sort of entertainment kick. They are not bored also, and then they
Right.
learn also. And then I go dive deep into also things.
Yeah.
So people are enjoying it, right? So
Yeah.
now I just double tap on the things which I have learned in
Learn.
previous, right, years of
Right.
doing YouTube, right? That's what I do. That's how I'm building my more courses, and it's working for me, right? And I have seen great response from the community. I wish a lot more teachers would do that for other
Hmm.
subjects,
Right.
but yes, there are very less people who do that, right?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. You have been doing a great job. That's really nice.
Mm, mhm,
Now, coming to the topic of how can one start front end development today? What should be the steps would you recommend? Like, should it be like the hands-on way, like you did, or
mhm,
you would
mhm.
recommend some other way?
See, uh, it's great, right? I mean, I'll tell you, first thing I want to tell everybody who is watching and they want to start with front end, first thing is you have to give it time, right? Today, the problem with student is not how they learn, what they learn. Everything is there on the internet or something, right? It's just that people don't give time.
Hmm.
They just do it for 5 days. They get bored. They feel that it's very exhausting. ये भी पढ़ना है, ये भी पढ़ना है, ये भी पढ़ना है. And then they just get overwhelmed and then they leave and then they just quit. So don't quit. If you want to learn, front end or everything, to be very honest, right? Even DSA or something, right? Most developers ask this question only: how to do DSA, how to do front end, right? How to start with it. The problem is give it enough time.
Right.
The problem is that give it enough time. Otherwise, how you want to learn? Pick up React, right? Why I'm saying pick up React? See, the best way to learn is learn web fundamentals, learn how browsers work, how JavaScript works, then learn JavaScript, then learn React. That is the best way.
Hmm.
But if I tell you that, you will be overwhelmed and you will feel that, oh my god, this much, so much to be learned, and then you will just quit. So that is why today I tell all these students, go pick up a framework, learn that, at least build something that would keep you motivated. And then, so basically it's like a bottom up approach or a top
Top
down
down
approach.
approach.
now, earlier I used to always suggest go with a bottom up approach, but what I've seen is people lose motivation. Now I tell them a top down approach. Learn a framework, learn React, learn how you make a website in it. You will get stuck in a lot of places. Wherever you get stuck, try to go dive deep and see how it works behind the scenes in JavaScript. Basically, it's easier and it's less exhausting, right?
Hmm.
That learning process, that learn React, and then try to learn how React works behind the scenes, how that code is converted into JavaScript, JSX, HTML, how it works. When you go into JavaScript, then learn JavaScript and also learn web fundamentals. Take it like and give it a lot of time. It will take a lot of time. It's not easy. It's so I don't know about easy or hard, but it will take time. It
Hmm.
is not that you will learn everything in just a few days or weeks or months, right? And also one more thing is I have seen people, uh, you know uh, they try to build like 10 small projects. What I suggest is build one or two small projects, then move to building bigger projects, because
Hmm.
there's a different form of learning when you build larger projects, right? That is when front end architecture and the concept of optimization and all that stuff come in, right? I have seen people build like 20 small projects, right? No, small projects like they will build a card, a slider, and all that stuff. Don't do that, right? I mean, do it for learning small things, then try to build a big project, right?
Hmm.
That's how I teach in Namaste React also, right? I mean, I started by teaching small things, and then I started building big projects, right? That's how you will learn, right? That's how you will go in depth, and you will see how, when you will build a small project, there will be like 5-10 components. It's very easy to write code like that, right? But once you have like hundreds of components, then that
Hmm.
whole optimization thing comes up.
तो मतलब लाइक टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोडक्ट्स ओनली, अब किसी को ढूंढना है विच प्रोजेक्ट टू बिल्ड, लाइक तो
Mhm.
कैसे ढूंढे? लाइक पीपल स्टार्ट सर्चिंग ऑन ओपन सोर्स, और जैसे कोई भी वेबसाइट दे पिक
Okay.
अप, और
Mhm.
लाइक
Mhm.
नेटफ्लिक्स दे शुड स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग
Mhm.
दैट.
Mhm. Yes, do that, right? See, whatever excites you. I don't know, right? I mean, if you are a student, you are building a project, then try to see, the best thing is to solve anything, right? I mean, if you
Hmm.
want to build a real projects, right? And now if you ask me that, what thing to build, right, to solve things up, right? I mean, a lot of people ask me, and what I say is, don't think about random different stuff. Try to think about what industry excites you. How you can find a project is, I would want to tell all these students is, try to find an industry. So suppose if you like cars, can you build a product for cars? Or, right, suppose, something which excites you. At the end of the day, you would have to spend, uh, what you'll say, weeks or months on building that project, right? So
Hmm.
pick up something that excites you, right? So
Got it.
that's how I say, that's how students can be curious, and that is what has worked for students, right? I have given a lot of type of advices to students. What I have seen is this works, right?
Hmm.
So students were asking me, Akshay, what should I build, right? I said, what do you like, right? I mean, so they were like, that's a very bad question. So then his friend told me he every day keeps on watching, like he watches anime for, right, anime series, right? He
Hmm.
watches anime for like every day, right, for 10 hours, 12 hours. Like, why not build something around anime, right?
Hmm.
Build a build a website which loads animes, and right, you
Hmm.
can save it, you can store it, customize it, and once you build around what you like, then you already know what features to build. Now he's like, oh, I want to save it, I want to bookmark that episode, I want to take notes, or all that stuff, right? They come up with features, and then they
Hmm.
then they are curious to develop those features. That's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, uh, that's what it is, like that's a
Hmm.
fun way to learn. So the more you involve fun along with learning, the better your experience will be. If you will
Right.
build something which does not excites you, so if
Hmm.
I'll say that, okay, build Zerodha or something, you would not like Zerodha as a platform, neither you would know how to build it. So build something which excites you, right? So
Yeah.
in my project also, right, when I was teaching Namaste React, I was curious, what should I build for students, right? So I
Hmm.
thought that, okay, let me build most commonly used apps, but go into complicated stuff over there, right? So
Okay.
basically that is when I chose to build, first thing I built was a food ordering app like Swiggy or
Hmm.
something, right? And then
Hmm.
I went into depths of building it. It's not like
Got it.
you show like 10 cards of restaurant, no,
Yeah,
right? It's
definitely not.
much more, it's much more tough than
Hmm.
it looks. I taught them. The second project which we covered in Namaste React was YouTube, right? We built YouTube.
Hmm.
Then in YouTube also, right, we did not build like few cards on the homepage. No,
Hmm.
we went on to exploring how you build live chat, right?
Hmm.
When students are typing, there are so many people typing, and
How to
so
display?
many comments are there.
Hmm.
How is your web page still performant?
Hmm.
Why is your
Right.
web page not freezing? Try to dump
Hmm.
so much data in the web page, it will freeze up, right?
Right.
How do you build those nested comments and all that stuff, right? These complicated stuff of these apps, that is what I taught them.
Right.
Multi-language feature. Then the third project I built was this Netflix GPT. So basically I
Hmm.
thought that, okay, GPT is in trending and
Hmm.
Netflix everybody knows, so can I build a mashup? So basically
Hmm.
I have with these projects I wanted to give them signals that you can combine different things, right?
Hmm.
Can you combine GPT into food ordering, GPT
Right.
into movie searching? So basically, the project Netflix GPT was, you don't have to search. Just tell them what, like, write in your it's a GPT based movie recommendation. Suppose
Got it.
I ask them, suggest me a movie like Three Idiots.
Hmm.
It would give you some suggestions, right? That would
Hmm.
definitely be different. It's a new random thing. So
Hmm.
that's why it's a wild card thing, right? You can ask them, I want to watch a movie, funny, emotional, English, Akshay Kumar movie or something. Matlab,
Right.
you can do random things. Those filters you won't get anywhere on Netflix, right? I mean,
Right.
so I
I
want to
think they
watch
will
a.
copy your idea.
It's okay. I'm open for it, right? What's there? It's
Okay.
not my idea. I just wanted to teach them. I have no less
Yeah.
of ideas, to be very honest. Uh, I am not
Right.
afraid of losing my idea or something, but I'm just saying that, see, when I teach them all this stuff, right, in Namaste React, so they get excited. Oh my God, Akshay, what is this, right? They see something new. It's not like they are building that old stuff, that
Hmm.
page component and all that stuff. No, 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 not. I mean, I built something curious. So,
Hmm.
and I suggest students who are learning to build something curious, right, out of
Hmm.
curiosity, because that is when you will be motivated to build that feature. You would
Hmm.
know, okay, इस बटन पे क्लिक होगा तो कुछ सेव होना चाहिए, तो उसको समझ में आएगा कि okay, I should manage state and this that, and then map fun with learning. Best
Hmm.
way to learn, right?
Nice. Yeah,
That's what
that's
I
a
was
very
saying.
great advice.
Uh-huh.
Because I also started with in first year of college.
Mhm.
I took a front end workshop. So I started
Mhm.
with, I thought I'll build Facebook homepage
Uh-huh.
with the login and password, and I will try to hack people's accounts by making them
Uh-huh.
log in onto the
Phishing,
page.
phishing,
Yeah,
phishing. Uh-huh. Okay, yes.
but
Uh-huh.
it never got completed. I got bored in between.
Yes, yes. Nahi, but
Yeah.
that idea is also cool. I mean, there would have been a different reason for it, but things like this, right? I want to like hack stuff, right? So that excites you to build sometimes, right? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
uh,
Now, after learning all this, I think sabke paas the one question which comes to everyone's mind, even in your students' mind, is like how to
uh-huh.
earn money with this. So, like
Yes.
fastest way to earn money with front end development.
So see, so fastest way to earn money is very subjective, right? I don't believe in fast ways to earn money, right?
Right.
Fast ways to earn money is just go become do a labor job, right? Any labor job will give you quick
Right.
money. Go wash dishes in your neighborhood, that will give you quick money, right? So
Hmm.
fast way, don't seek fast way of making money, right? Because there's nothing like fast way of making money. Try
Hmm.
to try to be different and try to up like upscale your level, right? I mean, the better you will have, the better skills you will have,
Hmm.
right? What differentiates a person who does a low paying job and a high paying job? It's only skills.
Right.
Everybody has same number of hours. You get paid a lot for the same number of hours just because you have that extra edge, you have that extra skill. Focus on that. If you just want fast money, then take freelancing gigs, start making these websites, right? There are so many projects. You just have to make landing pages, right?
Hmm.
And people will give you like $50, $100. Just make a landing page, no database, no website, just make a static page on the domain name, host it, and you will start getting money. But for how long? You'll get bored, right?
Hmm.
And after a year you wouldn't have learned anything. So if you want to become focus on building, becoming a good and a skilled engineer, right? Don't do
Hmm.
labor job, right? I mean, some people in coding and in software engineering space are also doing that labor work. Labor means they are doing a lot of labor, less of
Mind use, yeah.
mind usage, right? I mean, they don't do it, and that shows in their code also. If they
Hmm.
have to build something, they will just copy paste things. So they don't want to segregate it, don't want to optimize it, right? So
Hmm.
don't have that mentality. First change your mentality. You have to become a good engineer. Your code should speak, right? Code good even when nobody is watching, right?
Hmm.
Even if nobody is reviewing your code, code review your code and put your best out there, right? So the more you will be skilled, the better you will be. You might not get got opportunities right away, right? It might take
Hmm.
some time to get opportunities. Your first job might not be that great, but if you are skilled, then definitely there will never be a case that your fifth job is also not that great. No, if you are a
Hmm.
skilled engineer, you will figure out your way, right?
Right.
So every good engineer, skilled engineer, what I have seen, people who know stuff, they get confidence and then they prove themselves. It might take some time, one
Hmm.
year, 2 year, see, but the career is like 30-40 years long, yeah. I mean, so give it time. What's why are you afraid of not giving it time, right? The best thing is give it time and upskill yourself as much as possible.
Hmm.
Fast way to learn, see, fast way is nothing, right? But
Right.
I feel that, okay, a lot more
Hmm.
Indian engineers, Indian software engineers should try freelancing. Very less people try it. Everybody is running behind those few top 20 companies in India. No,
Right.
there is lot more to it. There
Hmm.
are there are so many founders which are looking for engineers.
Hmm.
Tough. It's just that they don't know how to find good engineers,
Right.
right? And the problem is that and we can do a lot of freelancing, huge opportunity, very less people I see who do freelancing. I don't
Hmm.
know. In India, freelancing, like freelancing is considered a not is considered that it's a bad thing. Like job is a good thing and freelancing is bad. I don't know why that perception is there. Ki, and people feel that freelancing is not stable, right? Yes, it
Hmm.
is not stable early on, but once you go to a level, then you will be what you'll say, you will be flooded with so much work.
Right. Because you
You have
you will build your, like, word of mouth will
portfolio.
spread. Right.
Portfolio, right? You will build a portfolio. You do good things, right? And freelancing only will work for people who are skilled and who are not lazy, right? That's the
Right.
first thing, right?
Right.
See, job mentality से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा, right? Job
Hmm.
mentality is that I went there, मेरे manager ने कुछ बोला, I did that, done.
Hmm.
Don't have to go there. But I feel that there is so much potential in India that we can get a lot of freelancer and the world's need it.
Hmm.
Okay, there might be less opportunities in India, but the world needs it. And COVID has proved that things or softwares can be built remotely, fully
Right.
remotely, and large scale products.
Hmm.
So now a lot of people outside, lot of companies outside want cheap talent, right?
Hmm.
And they get it here in India.
Right.
So, and let me tell you, a lot of developers in Pakistan, a lot of developers in Nepal, Bangladesh, I talk to them. They all are doing freelancing.
Hmm.
We are still at a better place in India that we have so many companies out there. They, those countries don't have good companies, good tech companies, right?
Hmm.
So they mostly rely on their freelancing work. Many software engineers, and I feel that that culture should propagate over here in India also, right? Uh, and there is lot of money over there, right? It's just that people don't tap onto that thing, right? Because it takes a little gut to do that and some time, right, to build
Right.
that portfolio, keep hustling. But if you will
Right.
hustle for that 1 or 2 years, right, uh, uh,
Right.
that's worth it, right? I have seen people, right, they are just searching for jobs for like 2 years after college.
Hmm.
You should have started freelancing and started building
Right.
portfolio, not just randomly looking for jobs, right?
Hmm.
Do something on the side, keep learn something, do it for free for people, right?
Hmm.
But that, right, I mean, that ego you will have to leave, right?
Hmm.
Basically you'll have to be ready for a hustle and a grind. But
Right.
yes, there is a lot of scope in freelancing also. That is what I wanted to highlight, right? I tell a lot of students that do this, right? They just don't do. And I feel that uh, you should not even think about job should be a second thing, right? Mm, I'm not saying job is bad, job is good, right? There are
Right.
people who want to do job, and please do it, but I'm saying that there is, at least try. What if
Right.
you're good at it? What if you
Hmm.
make like 10x of what you make in job? I have seen
Hmm.
people going there.
Hmm.
I know a lot of my friends, they have left their jobs and now they are full-time freelancers. They get
Right.
good projects. They are flooded with work. I say that, okay, why don't you hire and hire more people and give them your opportunities? बोलते हैं, इतना
Hmm.
time नहीं है.
Yeah, managing is also tough in that
Yes,
case.
बोलते हैं ना वो skill है.
Hmm.
They don't have skills to manage people
Hmm.
and they don't have time. But they
Hmm.
say that, okay, there are, but whatever they say is that there are so many opportunities in freelancing. But
Hmm.
you will have to build that portfolio. You'll have to
Portfolio.
build that trust. You'll have to build that time.
Initially, everyone finds a lot of competition, I think, on these websites like
Mhm.
Favor and all.
And is it not there on job portals?
Right.
Is
It
it
is there.
not there when you search for a job?
Hmm.
It's there. And I feel that finding a job when you're, see, if you're not from a great college, if you don't have something, some brand associated with you, right? If you're not from NIT, IIT, and that's a harsh truth that it's tough for you. I've been
Right.
there. And so many engineers, like 15, 16 lakh engineers graduate every year. And
Hmm.
those engineers, they are not from that great college. People don't recognize them. So kind of for a company, they are at same level. Now
Hmm.
companies find it tough for them to find out who is a good engineer over there. So I feel that that competition is tough than freelancing world.
Right.
Freelancing, the competition is lesser than finding a job outside,
Job.
but it's just
Right.
that people feel that freelancing is not stable and this that. But I don't know, right? I feel more people should try that,
Hmm.
and I have tried to speak a lot about this
Hmm.
openly, but then again, right, I don't see a major shift there.
Yeah. I think building in public, sharing whatever you're learning on social platforms, that also helps a lot because that
A
people
lot, a lot.
recognize. Yeah.
It takes time, right? The problem
Hmm.
is that people today don't want to spend time.
Right. Yeah.
It's same time. Yes. Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I think we covered a lot of important
Yes.
things. We
We
got to
covered a
know
lot
about
of
your
information.
journey. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Thank you for
thank.
asking that. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also great for me. Right. I just recalled
Yeah.
everything in my head,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to be here and
Yeah.
sharing my journey. Right. I mean, sometimes talking to people also. What you'll say gets things out of you, right, which
Right.
you want to speak. And even if like a single person from this video is motivated with doing freelancing, I feel my job is done. Right.
Yeah. Both freelancing and front end. Like I'm motivated to
Yes,
learn more about the React internals and all. So I think everyone
definitely,
would be.
definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes the problem with online courses is that 90% of the courses are not that great,
Hmm.
right? And because of them, 10% of those teachers suffer.
Right.
Right, because so that is the problem. So people have kind of losing trust also. But then yes,
Hmm.
right, I mean, I feel that you should do research while going and learning something. But yes, if you find a good resource to learn, uh, then it becomes easier for you. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
But yes,
Like.
if you have a habit of reading, then you have enormous amount of things on the internet. Make a
Yeah.
habit of reading, uh, everything will be solved. Yep.
Yeah. But you are doing great work with your courses. Like the way you talked about.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone goes in that depth and keeps those sessions as engaging. Like and finding these different things like Netflix
It
GPT.
To be very honest, Sukhad, it's very tough.
I
It's
know.
it's not that, see,
Yeah.
whatever I teach, I already know. See, if I have
Hmm.
to make a video on promises, I can teach you promises right away,
Hmm.
right? But it took me like weeks of effort to build that video,
Hmm.
just because you have to, teaching and knowing is a very different stuff, right? I mean, it's
Right.
it's it's tough to make those videos, right? I mean, but
Yeah.
yes, right, it's worth it, right? I see
Hmm.
impact. I see people getting it's I see them, I see people learning from them.
Hmm.
So it's good, but up for it, right?
Right. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for taking our time
Yep.
and sharing all your knowledge with everyone. I think this was a
Yep.
really amazing podcast.
Thank you, Sukhat, for inviting me. Right, it was a very candid and a different podcast. Right, I've been to other podcasts also, but your questions were really interesting. Yep. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for picking my mind.